it's Jodie and I have a super exciting vlog for you guys. So I am going to be vlogging my entire reading experience of this bad boy, which is my most anticipated read of the year, and that is Crescent City, A House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. And this is a huge book. It is just shy of 800 pages. I think it's 799 pages to be exact. So it's a pretty big book. So I'm filming this at the end of this reading vlog, but I think I just realised I didn't actually include it at the start. So I should probably tell you guys exactly what the book is about before we get into the actual vlog. So I'm going to do that now. This book is called Crescent City, A House of Earth and Blood. So it's the first book in a new adult fantasy series by Sarah J Maas, and the main character in this book is called Bryce Quinlan. Now Bryce Quinlan is known as your typical party girl, and she is a very, not necessarily opinionated, but she kind of just does not care what anyone thinks of her. Like, she just kind of lives her life and she lets people think what they want, and she is viewed as a party girl. You know, she does kind of have a sort of addiction to that kind of life and going and partying and doing things she shouldn't. She lives in a place called Lunathion, or Lunathion. Lunathion is how I'm going to pronounce it. So she lives in a place called Lunathion, which is in Crescent City, and this is a place where there are all different kinds of creatures. We've got vampires, we've got werewolves, we've got angels, we've got fae, we've got half fae, half human, we've got humans. All of them exist in this one world, and there is a lot of politics in this world, and we have archangels as well who basically control this section, and they are called governors. Basically there is a brutal murder that hits very close to home for Bryce. It basically crushes her whole world, and she is, you know, struck with grief, and she just doesn't know what to do. And then she is asked by the governor if she can get involved with the murder and figure out what happened. So this then takes place 2 years later, after the brutal murders had happened, and Bryce now teams up with an angel from the 33rd Legion called Hunt. So Hunt is known as the Umbra Mortis, also the Shadow of Death, and he is an angel whose powers are very, very limited due to a halo around his head that was put there by a witch to basically keep him as a slave for the, I think they're called the Asteri, who are basically these really powerful beings who kind of run the whole world. And that's that. So he is basically, you know, controlled and a slave to the governor and the archangel, who's called Mika, and he also is put in charge of this investigation to try and figure out what actually happened with these murders, and also to try and find a fae relic which is called the Horn that went missing at the same time as these murders took place. So Bryce and Hunt team up to try and solve all of these things, but they do not really like each other. They kind of get on each other's nerves, and that's how it starts. This is an absolutely gigantic book, and it's very, very heavy. I started reading this last night. I didn't film my very first few pages reaction because I look like shit. So yeah, I'm currently 57 pages in, so I've just reached the 6th chapter. Not a lot has happened yet. We are just getting to know some of the characters, and there's a bit of world building going on, and that's pretty much it so far. I'm really loving it so far though. It's just, oh, it's so exciting. I want to get at least part 1 read today, which will then take me to part 2 on page 91, so hopefully I can do that today. It's a big book, and this is an entirely new world, and it is adult fantasy, so Sarah J Maas is obviously trying to set the tone for the book, and she's also trying to give us an insight into the world and the way it works. So yeah, I'm already really loving the main character, and there's some really cool, interesting characters in here. So yeah, 57 pages in and I already love it, so that's a good sign. I'm just so happy. Speaking of Crescent City, I also managed to bag a virtual signed copy or something like that it's called. So basically where I send off what I wanted to say, and Sarah J Maas signs it and sends it to me. So I have that ordered. I have a special tour edition copy ordered, and I also have the exclusive Waterstones edition ordered and this copy. So I will have a total of 4 copies upon release day. So yeah, a bit much, but I don't care. I love Sarah J Maas. And my tickets arrived as well for the Crescent City tour, which is happening in about a month's time roughly, and I'm super excited for it. So yeah, I'm so excited. I can't stop saying that. So I am actually now 174 pages in, and I'm loving this book. There's still a lot of world building going on, and we're figuring out like the politics and everything of the world and how everything works and how all the characters sort of fit into that world, and loads of new characters keep getting introduced. And yeah, I love the main character so far. The main character is called Bryce. I don't think that's a spoiler because you can read the first 6 chapters of this on NetGalley. Love Bryce. Bryce is just such a cool character. I feel like Sarah J Maas is always really talented at making you adore the main character in her books, and that's what makes me really love a story, is when I care about what happens to the main character. So yeah, I love the main character, and there's a couple of other characters we're introduced to in here that we're getting to, gosh, I cannot film on my phone, that we're getting introduced to and starting to find out more about, and I really enjoy them. And there's already been some really huge kind of, not plot twists, but just really huge events that have happened that I didn't necessarily expect would have happened just yet. So yeah, we're kind of like thrown in to quite a lot already, and I'm just loving it. I have no idea where the story's going to go, which is again something I really am enjoying. And yeah, it's just, I love this book so much already, and I'm hoping I will get to 200 pages today, possibly part 3 of the book. So yeah, I have work all day today, and I'm so tired. I didn't get any sleep last night whatsoever, so I'm planning on just coming home from work and going straight to sleep. But I might read, we'll see, I don't know. Well, I'm going to read on my lunch break, hopefully at work, and get to page 200. So today it is Thursday, and I haven't updated you guys for a few days again because I suck again. I've read some more of Crescent City. I've read a couple of 100 pages maybe since I last told you what page I was on. I really can't remember, but I am now on page 349, which is chapter 36. So yeah, I've made some good progress. So I'm almost halfway-ish. There's 800 pages. Well, in this proof there are 799 pages to be exact, but on Goodreads it says there's 816. So I'm not really sure what the difference of those like 17 pages is. I really don't understand why there's a difference, but in this proof there is 799 pages to read, and I am on nearly halfway, you can see. So I've read this much so far, so I'm not far off halfway. Hopefully I get halfway tonight. But I am loving this so much. It's kind of hard to talk about this book without any spoilers, and this is a spoiler-free vlog, so yeah, kind of hard. But I would just say this book is just so good. Like, this is her best work so far in my opinion, and I'm not even halfway through. The characters are just so funny at times. Like, it takes a lot for a book to make me laugh out loud, and some of the stuff in this book has actually made me laugh out loud, and the banter between Bryce and Hunt is just so fun. And yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. A lot more of the plot is starting to develop now, and it's getting really interesting. So yeah, I love it. I really don't want this book to end. Like, I kind of want to read it slower. I'm trying to pace myself. I want to read it before the release day, obviously, but I still got like 2 weeks until then. But at the same time, like, it's harder not to just like pick it up, and I can't really read another book at the moment because I'm just so immersed in this book. So I think that speaks for itself. But yeah, that is all the little updates I have for you guys. I will see you guys soon, hopefully, and I'll update you whenever I read some more. So I haven't updated you guys in a few days, but yeah, I've kind of just been all over the place, and this is probably the worst vlog ever. But I have read, I don't even know when I last updated you guys, what page I was on, but I'm now in, let's see, where I'm on page 567, so I've probably read a lot since I last updated you guys, and so much shit keeps happening, and I just can't, like, this book, oh my god, this book is definitely Sarah J Maas's best book. The romance in it is kind of like a, not enemies to lovers, because they were never enemies, but it's like sort of like a hate to love kind of relationship. Like, they, at the start of the book, they really did not like each other, and now that's definitely changing. And you know, it's like a really slow burn, but in a good way, not like a boring hurry up kind of way. Like, the character development in this book is insane, and the relationships that keep developing and the way they're like evolving as well, it's just so well done. Like, I can't even cope, and I just love Bryce Quinlan so much. She is such a badass, and as usual, Sarah J Maas, their main characters, makes them very strong, powerful, badass, sassy characters, and Bryce Quinlan is definitely that. And Hunt, oh, I love him so much. He's like a big softie, but he's not a softie. He's definitely not, but he is as well. Like, oh, I love him. I just can't believe all these plot twists. Oh, I don't even know how to put into words how I'm feeling right now, but this book is just so good, you guys. And also, I think Sarah J Maas has kind of sort of evolved with her writing. You can tell this is a lot more adult. This book is just full of so many supernatural different like creatures and stuff, and it's just so cool and so well done, and just everything about this book is just so good. So I'm nice and snug in my Darth Vader blanket, and I'm going to read some more of Crescent City. The sexual tension in this book, ooh, okay, wow. I can't. Page 594, guys. First line, top of the page. Well, Sarah J Maas, of course, you had to put that in there. Of course. Did not see that coming. What the fuck? So I'm on chapter 66, which is like, starts at page 601. Oh gosh, what? Oh my god, what? The plot twists just keep coming, and this shit is just getting thicker and thicker. I have no words. Right, I'm now on page 636. Don't really know how to feel. My eyes are tearing up. This book is getting me in the feels so bad, guys. Like, I can't even cope. What the fuck? Just no words. Absolutely no words, guys. This book is tearing me apart. It really is. I cannot cope with all these different turns of events, but it is just so good. So good. I'm gonna stop reading for a bit, and yeah, I'll update you guys when I read some more. Oh, I need to calm down. haven't updated you guys in a while. This vlog, I can't even speak. So this vlog is kind of a total mess. I kind of just ended up reading a lot of this book and just forgot to totally pick up my camera because I was just so engrossed in it, and that's kind of what's happened. But I have finished the book, and I have the biggest book hangover on the planet, and I can't, like, just need to, just give me a minute. This book was just wow, like, I can't even, there's just no words. Like, I finished it last night and I'm still not, like, my brain's just still everywhere with it. I just can't even, like, I don't know. Yeah, this book was just absolutely amazing, and everything I didn't expect it to be, and I just absolutely loved it. So of course I'm giving it 5 stars. I cried for the last 100 pages of this book. I've never felt so attached to characters before and so invested in it, and I did not see these constant plot twists happening. Like, plot twists are happening in this book up until the very last page. Like, come on, it's just too much, but in a good way. So yeah, I didn't see all these plot twists coming, and the last 100 pages had me a total wreck. Like, literally, I was just crying constantly, and not necessarily all of it was because it was sad or anything like that. Some of it was just like, I don't know, it was just so emotional, and I cried for the last 100, and that's that. And I absolutely loved it. I love Bryce and Hunt. I ship them so hard. And there's so many other amazing characters in this book, and I loved Danica, and her friendship with Bryce was just, I think that was one of my favourite things about this book. There was such a strong, powerful friendship, and it was so emotional. It was one of the things that made me cry towards the end of the book. And the relationship between Rune and Bryce as well, and just, I don't know, so many relationships just flourished and developed, and Bryce is just a bad bitch. Like, oh, I love Bryce so much. Love her. Sarah J Maas just has such a way of writing main characters that just makes you absolutely love them. There was a lot of really cool themes in this book as well. So there were some themes like grief, like dealing with grief, which was very well done. I think the way Sarah J Maas wrote about grief and how people cope with grief and how it can make them suffer was really amazing, and it added so much to the story, and I just think that was really well done. So I guess that is kind of a trigger warning, and there are some other triggers that I did notice in here that you might need to be aware of before you read this book, like drugs and addiction, there's grief, and then obviously in this book there is quite a lot of sort of violence and gore, not to the extreme, but it's still there. So I guess you kind of need to be aware of that when you go into this book. But I love this book. I think it is her best writing yet. I feel like she was able to flourish as a writer a lot more with adult, and the politics and the way this world is set up I think is amazing. You aren't sort of reading 6 chapters to figure out how the world works and, you know, the politics in it and all of that. You're kind of just thrown straight into it, and it totally works, and it was really good. Just hit with so much plot twist and like shit at once, and it is great. Like, this book just, it gets going straight away. There's no ifs and buts about it. It's just from the get-go, guys. It's I can't even put into words, but yeah. so good. Like, I can't. Each to note is page 701 was one of the ones that really got me sobbing my heart out. Why, Sarah? Why did you have to do that? Oh god, it is such an emotional scene, and when you guys read this you'll know exactly what I mean when you get to page 701. I cried a lot, and it makes me teary now. I don't even, let's just not look at that page. Why did I just do that to myself? Page 706, just wow. I didn't tab this book at all when I was reading it. I didn't annotate it. I don't do that with any of my books, but the last 100 pages I started to kind of make notes of certain pages. So 706 was just a wow, like a big fucking wow. The quote on the back of Danica's motorcycle jacket I'm obsessed with. I love it so much. It's just wow. Something you kind of second glance at kind of had a huge part of the story and the overall plot, and that's why I just think Sarah J Maas is amazing. There was so many tiny little insignificant things in this book that then later on in the story became significant, and I just think that's so incredibly well done, and just shows how good this book is, and the writing. And another thing about this book I think was absolutely amazing was the fact that when you are reading it, you have absolutely no idea what direction the story is going in. Like, every plot twist I could not have possibly imagined. Like, there was no predicting what was going to happen next in the story. It was so unpredictable, and I think that's what makes a book a really good read a lot of the time, is when you have no idea how the story is going to play out. And out there right now, guys, this is my all-time favourite book. I love Throne of Glass. I absolutely love it. It was my all-time favourite book until now, but this, it makes Throne of Glass look like something she did when she was about 5. No, I'm joking. Throne of Glass is still amazing, but this book is just, oh, I loved it. I think adult fantasy is definitely a good genre for Sarah J Maas, and I need the second book now. Like, I don't want to wait. I need it now. I need more Bryson Hunt in my life. There's another character in here called, I think you pronounce it as Syrinx or Syrinx. I really don't know. I'm rubbish for stuff like this, but I love him. I love him so much. And I'm already planning to reread this. This book comes out in like 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks now. It comes out on March 3rd, and much goodness in this book, like so much. So yeah, I rated this 5 stars. This book was absolutely incredible, if I haven't made that clear enough already, and the characters in this book were amazing. The world in this book was amazing. The writing, the plot, the way it concluded, everything was just amazing. Like, I have no complaints about this book whatsoever. I loved every aspect of it, and I just think if you are even slightly thinking of giving it a read, do it. I promise you will not be disappointed. It is a big book. It's 800 pages, but don't let that put you off. At first I thought this was going to be quite hard to get into. I thought it might be a bit heavy, or that it would maybe get a bit boring because of how long it was, but it didn't. It never got boring. Like I said before, you are just thrown straight into the story, and a lot of shit hits the fan very quickly in this book, so it's not boring by any means. It is so well paced in my opinion. I loved the pace of this book. I didn't think it was rushed. I didn't think it was too slow. I thought it was just exactly how it needed to be to really give you like the best reading experience. I just feel really, really sad now, because I know any book that I pick up after this is just not going to compare to it. You should definitely read this. Like, don't let the size of it intimidate you. I promise you, it is worth the read. The characters are great in the story too, and I just loved it so much, and oh, I'm just sad that it's over. I'm going to put this baby here on my shelf. But yeah, I feel like I've got a bit of a hole in my heart now that I've finished that book. Hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I really hope that you guys do pick this book up. It is absolutely incredible, and her best book yet in my opinion, and I loved it. Can't recommend it enough. I will be recommending this book to absolutely everyone. So this book comes out on the 3rd of March, and you'll be able to get it pretty much everywhere, and you need to get it. Just trust me on it, you need it. Also, I thought I would add on to the end of this video that I have a super exciting announcement, which is related to Crescent City. So I have been thinking for a while about doing my own candles. I've never made candles before, and I just kind of want to give them a go. So I thought, what better to use as inspiration than Crescent City. So I'm actually going to be releasing 10 candles inspired by Crescent City, and I cannot wait. So I will probably talk about it in another video or something, but if you guys want to follow the Instagram account where I will post updates on when they are releasing. This is the Instagram account here, if my camera is going to focus. So it is called vanillaxmoon Co. So I just went with that because, you know, vanillaxmoon's already my username, so it's just kind of easier. So I will be doing 10 different candles. I will tell you now what the candles are called. Quick little sneak peek, that's what I'm showing. So yeah, I am going to be releasing 10 candles hopefully, and there will be some updates on that Instagram page if you'd like to go and follow it. And yeah, so I just thought I'd mention it now, and then you guys are aware. If the candles don't happen, it's because my candle making abilities suck, but hopefully they do, and this isn't embarrassing. I've included this in here and then not make them. But yeah, they should be going ahead. Everything's on its way, and I'm going to be making them next week, and I'm super excited. So if you could follow that Instagram account, that would be great, and if you are interested, then send me a message, and yeah. So yeah.